right. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy rainy Friday. Uh, just got back from the road rally to celebrate 100 years of women's suffrage. That was a very cool event hosted by so many of our excellent female leaders here in Scranton and Northeastern Pennsylvania. Really appreciate them putting that together. They're on their way to Seneca Falls to celebrate 100 years of women's suffrage. And I got the honor of waving the flag for them to head back on the road. A special thanks to the Scranton Police Department for helping them get in and out of town safely, and to Scranton High School for hosting the event in the parking lot there. It was really special to be joined by Senator Casey, who was there. Commissioner Debbie Dominic was there. Then Senator, the 113th District State Rep, Bridget Malloy Kozarowski, 114th, I think, 114th, Bridget Malloy Kozarowski, and Evie McNulty and Janet Breyer from Dunmore were all there. So it was a great event, really wonderful to see fellow elected officials and so many great supporters. And I was able to bring my mother and my daughter to the event, which was all outside, all distance. Everyone was wearing a mask, of course, but it was really special to have her there. And I am so deeply appreciative to all of the women that came before my time, my generation. So many women throughout the centuries. This isn't just recent, the centuries to get women the vote. And then as we go forward, to make sure that people understand that not only should women be able to vote, but they should be in positions of leadership, that we're all stronger when we have boardrooms with equitable numbers of men and women. It's really, really important that we continue to fight that fight. I'm grateful to all the women that I've learned from and that came ahead of me to make it possible for me to be sitting here in the mayor's office. And my job is to pay it forward to the next generations. Sloan's here at the office today. See, with my mom back there, so you might hear her. It's okay. It's okay. You might hear her in the back. I just am, again, so lucky to be able to be here because of the work that other women did ahead of me. And again, I will do everything I can to make sure that we're teaching our little girls and our little boys what it means to be a leader, that gender does not matter. Everyone should have an equal footing and equal shot at leadership positions. But it's on us as women to make sure that we're putting ourselves out there. You can't vote for a woman if she doesn't decide to run and go on the ballot. So, really encouraging everyone out there who's thinking of running for office someday or now, really please don't let gender, don't let anybody tell you that it's not your time. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it because you're a woman or you're a person of color, or all these things that sometimes people will try to use as an excuse to keep you out of the running. I want to encourage everybody to really participate in that democratic process as a candidate. And especially right now for everybody, if you are 18, if you will be 18 on November 3rd, make sure you are registered to vote. There is only, 3.5 days left. So Monday is the final deadline for voter registration. We'll be doing something on Monday to call attention to that. But in the meantime, anybody that you don't think is registered to vote, now is the time to go to votespa.com and make sure that you are registered. Get that registration, order that mail-in ballot. If you decide that you'd rather go to the polls, that's okay. We understand that people do want to go, but I'm wearing my mask here because my team is in and out of the room. It's really important that you consider what your day might be like. Are you going to want to stand in line with other people? Are you going to want to go physically into a polling location where other members of the public have been? If so, make a plan for that. But you absolutely have to wear a mask. Make sure to wash your hands, use sanitizer. Really, the mail-in voting option is the best and safest for us as we head into COVID. So again, votespa.com for voter registration. Please make sure you and everyone that will be 18 or over on election day is registered. The COVID cases are up. That is just a fact. I'm just trying to pull up the latest numbers here. So we've seen cases go up quite a bit here in the region. And sorry, I don't know why that lost that. I'm not super excited about my computer today, guys. Let's see. Not sure why that's doing that. There we go. Okay. So we have seen these cases going up, and it's a little bit scary. Luckily, hospitalization rates have remained low, so it's a good thing. But that the cases going up mean that we really do need to stay vigilant. And I know it's frustrating, but we just have to. Again, hospitalizations, death rate is staying fairly flat, which is good, but those cases are going up. So we really need to be careful out there and understand that we're serious when we're talking about masks. We're serious about distancing. We're serious about not having large gatherings inside, especially without masks. So here at the city, we are encouraging all of our teams to work from home where they can, when they can. A lot of people at City Hall work kind of a staggered schedule. They come in person when they need to be in person, but they work from home when they can work from home. And we are limiting external meetings. So there's no reason, we've got Zoom going on, right? There's no reason to be meeting with external folks unnecessarily in person. So we're encouraging the use of Zoom, the continued use of Zoom, and trying to limit exposure to kind of our small work teams. So it's very frustrating. I certainly can't wait to get back, hopefully sometime next year, to a point where we can all be in the office having in-person meetings, but it's not worth it right now. So the health risk isn't worth it. So we're continuing to work hard and continuing to be very grateful to our public works employees, our code enforcement employees, police department, fire department, everybody who has to be out there in person in the community. Thank you very much for all that you're doing. Our Treasury staff out front here, Treasury and licensing inspections that are in touch with the public. We've got plastic dividers up and sanitation and stations, and everything is protected, but they're still interacting with the public, and I appreciate what they're doing every day. So on to some things that you'd never think that we would ever have to talk about. Halloween guidance for trick-or-treating. So we're continuing to monitor the CDC guidance. Basically, the CDC is advising that the way to go would be, really the CDC is saying don't trick or treat, but I don't think that's realistic. And I think if people are wearing masks and they're staying within their family pod out on distance, that one-way trick or treating works. So CDC talks about one-way trick-or-treating, in which kind of individually wrapped goodie bag is lined up for kids to grab and go, maybe at the end of a driveway, at the end of a yard. That way, families can go pick something up, maybe wave hello, and move on, instead of passing that candy hand to hand. So one-way trick-or-treating is kind of a compromise that I think could work. We'll continue to monitor that, and then any city-sponsored events will be doing that. Our officers do, police officers do trunk or treat, which is great. The fire department's doing something at the Hilton, which is cool. But that same thing will apply. It won't be the officers or the firefighters handing directly a piece of candy to your child. We'll make sure that that's distanced and set up as such. All right. There is the next food drive for the Friends of the Poor is Wednesday, the 21st at Parker Hill Church in Dixon City. So Friends of the Poor emergency drive-through Wednesday, 10/21 at Parker Hill, Dixon City, 2:30 to 5:30. We're so grateful for Friends of the Poor and everything that they do for our community. Okay, and then something new, the city will be accepting grant applications from nonprofit organizations for community development block grants, home investment partnerships programs, and emergency solutions grants for the 2021 funding cycle, so for next year. So nonprofit organization, if you are looking for CDBG, home, or ESG grants, that the city is now taking those applications for next year. The information is posted on scrantonworks.org beginning next week. So we really want to make sure that these processes are inclusive, that it's very clear that those opportunities are out there. Your nonprofit can apply for these dollars. We really want your organizations to not only to get these dollars, but to be able to provide services for the community. So please, scrantonworks.org, starting next week, the ESG, CDBG, and home applications. All right, went through the election. The census count ended yesterday. We got, I don't know what the final tally will look like. We've gotten good information in the last week that the number of open cases was low, and that we think we got a good count, but we'll be waiting for the official results from that. It was really tough in the last couple of weeks because the federal government kind of kept going back and forth in terms of when the deadline was. But I know that the Census Bureau workers were out there working hard, and we really appreciate them for doing that. So I know I'm a broken record for the last 10 months talking about the census. It's so important that we get as many people counted as possible. We'll get you those results. Hopefully they'll be good. COVID certainly threw us a curveball, and that's been tough, but we will get those results out and hope that we got everybody that we possibly could. Okay. And as we always talk about, it is a sign of strength to ask for help. So if you or someone you know needs assistance in terms of rental assistance, utility assistance, food assistance, dial 211. That is the quickest way to get guided to something. Rental assistance is available through the county. That's lackawannacounty.org. There are information about rental assistance. It is hard to get in terms of there's some red tape there. You've got to get your landlord to sign on and things like that. But that rental assistance is there. It's there for you to use. And we really hope that folks out there know that that's available. So lackawannacounty.org is where to get the rental assistance, or you can call 211 for that. Mental health, especially as it gets darker outside there. I know when it gets dark, I do not like it. I was born and raised in a place that it was gray like it is out here in Scranton a lot of the time. And I really, really don't like that. But it brings to mind, there's a lot of people out there that, get seasonal affective disorder, compound that with isolation, with COVID-19, not being able to go see your friends and family, not being able to go to events, not being able to go to parties or restaurants in the way that we usually do. If you or someone you love needs help, they can call 1-800-273-8255. Or you can text TALK, TALK, to 741-741. The Pennsylvania Department of Human Services has a toll-free COVID support line, and that's 1-855-284-2494. The Veterans Crisis Line, 1-800-273-TALK, or the Disaster Distress Helpline, 1-800-985-5990. Women's Resource Center here in Lackawanna County, 1-800-257-5765. Again, I run through all these every week because it's so important that people understand what resources are there and that it is okay to ask for help. So please encourage people you love to seek that help if they need it. All right, so we'll get to some questions. Just give me 1 second here. All right, so Bill is asking, is the Permits and Licensing Department back to work at City Hall? I have a question to ask them. I left my name and number to call me back, but haven't heard back yet. Okay. Yep, so Bill, they are up and running, and they've been pretty good about getting back to people. So I'm not sure when you called, but I'm sorry that you haven't heard back yet. You can call if you have other questions or need us to scoot something through, make sure that they got the message. You can email us at scranton311@scrantonpa.gov, or you can call us at 348-4101, and we will we'll nudge the licensing department. There's a lot of work there, and it's not a huge staff. So I know they're working hard. Again, my apologies that you haven't heard back, but you can always email us at scranton311@scrantonpa.gov. The more specific you can be, the better, and we'll get you all set. Paula is asking, are these numbers on your page? Yes, so we post all the mental health resources on our social media, and we try to repost them. I'll make sure the team reposts those again today or over the weekend. They're really, really great resources. And let me just, while we're live, kind of the catch-all right now would probably be the toll-free COVID support line. That's 855-284-2494. And Women's Resource Center here locally, 1-800-257-5765. So we'll get those reposted, Paula, for sure. And it's really interesting just thinking about the resources that we have. Yesterday, I sat outside of Weston Field with Justin Behrens from Keystone Mission, and it was just a nice moment to sit and talk with him about the fact that we here in Scranton at the city, I think that our job is to we provide services. We provide all sorts of services, right? But like mostly health and safety services. You know, you got building permits and things of that nature. In terms of social services, we don't provide those, but I see it as our job to make sure that it's clear what those resources are and push those out to the public. So I'm proud of my team and really appreciative to them for keeping up on that and getting that information out there into the community. And we have so many great community partners in the really appreciative to all of our social service providers in Scranton and Lackawanna County. They're absolutely phenomenal. And we're really, really lucky. And again, I see it as our job to push out the information so that anybody looking at Facebook or listening to our phone calls, interacting with our staff at Scranton 311 or the phone line, understand what those resources are, and we're continuing to push those out. So I'm grateful to everybody who's working out there for us in the city. I'll give it a couple more minutes on questions, see if anything else comes up. It's really interesting to have the census not be on the tick list here. That's it's been quite a year on that, and I really hope that count turned out. We certainly been trying our best on that, and now the focus for the next 3 weeks is certainly safe elections. Make sure that you're registered by October 19th, votespa.com. Votespa.com, you can register to vote, you can request your mail-in ballot, and you can also check your polling place and see there have been some changes. So it's important to check your polling place. That election is November 3rd, which is coming up very, very soon. So we're really appreciative to everybody who's working hard. I know the County Bureau of Elections, Mary Medalis, is working really hard to make sure that Lackawanna County has a secure, safe count. And we are appreciative to all the volunteers who are also out there trying to make sure that the election goes well for everyone. I'm not seeing any other questions popping up. Let's see. Trying to think of some of the things that we have going on at the city. We're working on the budget, and that budget will roll out in a few weeks. And we are working really hard to make sure that we're matching the priorities of the city, that health and safety and the development and looking forward. We're trying to match that with what will be a difficult fiscal year. We're certainly worried about revenues next year as so many people were laid off or businesses shuttered for parts of this year. So 2021 will be a tight year. So we're trying to look at the budget and figure out how can we prioritize these programs in what it will be a very difficult year. So a couple of reminders from my team. Thank you, everybody. There are still leaf bags down at Weston. So the leaf bag recycling program is up and running. Please, please, please get down to Weston or DPW and grab leaf bags. You can put the leaves from your yard into those bags, and we have a schedule that's posted that the DPW fellas, I say fellas because they're all fellas. The fellas will come around and get those recycled for you. It's important to put them in a bag, though. If they're just loose, what happens is the rain comes, it washes into the grates, into the sewer, backs it up, and there's flooding on your street if you just rake your leaves into the street. So please, please, please take the time, get a bag, put them in the bag. We'll pick them up for you. And we really want to make sure that we can do that to keep our streets not only clean, but keep them from flooding. That is a huge problem every year. So we really appreciate everybody participating in that leaf recycling program. Let's see. Oh, there was a reminder. Okay, so Chandra's saying, I'm worried because COVID cases are going up. Chandra, I share your worry. We are seeing, at least from what I've been hearing from my conversations with the medical community in our hospitals, the cases right now are mostly going up in the kind of 15 to 25 age range, which is scary, but luckily it's an age range of people that usually can fight the virus pretty well. But I think the next step after that, what happens is those people bring it to other people, and we are seeing it tick up in the 50-ish age range. So we're going to continue to look at all the information. We don't have a lot of data, as you guys know, that I am working on. We don't get the data we should because we don't have a health department, which is something that I think needs to change in Harrisburg. We're pushing, we presented to council the next step in us getting a health department. Council has tabled that. We are hoping that city council brings that legislation up soon again so that we can move forward with exploring a public health department for Scranton. In the meantime, we don't get the data we need. I'm looking at the dashboard of available data. It's just by zip code, which doesn't do us a lot of good. It doesn't break things down by age. I only know those age stats from talking to some of our hospital professionals. So Chandra, I am also worried. We really, again, like I said, here internally at the city, just reminded everybody and are reinforcing again, only stick with your kind of internal pod. No need to have external meetings, no need to have big internal meetings, and no need to have everybody come into the office with each other every day unless needed for your actual work function. We encourage everyone in their jobs to do the same, to do that remote work where you can, and to make sure that you're not unnecessarily exposing yourself. You're not, going to house parties and especially places where people aren't wearing masks. I know people are really tired of this, but as we go into colder times, having gatherings inside is just going to be a recipe for those numbers to keep ticking up. So Eileen's asking about updates on plans for Citizens Review Board. We are putting something into the budget to enable us to help move that forward. And that is something that is very much on my mind and something that we'll continue to work on. Judy is asking about a zoning officer. We're actually conducting final interviews for a zoning officer now, and I'm very much hoping that that person, or that we are be able to select a person soon and get that going, because it's an interesting job because it requires some special skills, and so we got some good candidates, and again, hoping that wraps up soon, very, very soon, and we're able to finally get somebody in that position. Okay, lots of good questions. We'll give it another minute or two. Oh, here we go. The early voting celebrations. So next Friday, October 23rd at 12:30. So we'll do town hall at noon. Then at 12:30, we're partnering with the Black Scranton Project, Royals Vote, and Pacers to the Polls for an early voting celebration. Again, 12:30 to 1:30. You can stop on by on your way to the Lackawanna County Government Center. We'll have some fun stuff going on there. If you have your mail-in ballot, you can bring your ballot. I'm gonna bringing my ballot that day. I'm gonna be walking from City Hall to the Government Center to drop it off into the drop box. So if you want to do that with me, please do bring your ballot. We can walk them down together and participate in democracy live on Facebook or Instagram or whichever medium we're using that day. And then let me see. Okay. Yep. So that's the early voting celebration at City Hall next Friday, October 23rd, 12:30 to 1:30. Okay, and then Cody is asking, is it possible to bring back beat cops to walk the neighborhoods? Do we have any currently? So the answer, Cody, is yes, we have 4 neighborhood officers now. And as we look at the budget and work with the police department on the budget and the upcoming contract, that's certainly part of the conversation. We certainly want we want our police officers to be in our neighborhoods and really engage with the community. Many of them are, but we can always do better. All right, these are great questions today. I really appreciate, really appreciate that. It's been a weird year, I have to say. You think about all the things that's like coming from that event today, thinking that we'd have many more events where we see people. It's been hard to not have those in-person events. That's my favorite part of this, is to be able to see people, especially kids, and not being able to do that has been tough, but we're getting through it. And I really appreciate everybody out there that tunes in for these Zoom, Facebook, town halls, and emails us at Scranton311, calls us, sends letters. It really does help me it would help me anyway, but especially now when I can't be out, I'm not out knocking on doors saying hi. I'm not necessarily able to be out in the community in the ways that I'd like to be. I don't get to go like up to the senior centers and say hi to everybody or play bingo. That's the fun stuff. And it's been so unfortunate not to have that this year. So we are here. We're here at City Hall nearly every day. I mean, I'm coming in Monday through Friday, have been since June. And, even on the weekends, my team is still working, which I'll say my mom sometimes gets mad at me for emailing the team on the weekend, but hey, we got a lot to fix here in Scranton. So we got to keep it going 7 days a week, but I appreciate everybody out there for tuning in, asking your questions. Keep them coming. Come on down to City Hall next Friday at 12:30 for that little early voting celebration. If you want to, we'll do a masked walk down to the voting center at the county office and vote that way. And that'll be kind of a fun way to do it. I love going to the polls. I'm disappointed not to go to the polls this year, but this will add something to it. So we'll see you next Friday. And I really appreciate everybody. Again, Scranton311 at scrantonpa.com. scrantonpa.gov. If you have questions or issues. And we are just so grateful to be able to be here and to be learning from you. And one last thing is the Volunteer Corps. So Volunteer Corps, you can apply online. If you're listening on Zoom right now, you don't have the internet, you can call us at 348-4101 and we can get you the information. So we've got all the packet. There is some paperwork to do to be part of the Volunteer Corps, but we're doing our kickoff orientation on Monday at 6:00. So if you apply by 3:00 that day, it's not even apply, you have to get all your application stuff in. Just if you raise your hand, say you want to help and be part of the Volunteer Corps, we're doing that kickoff at 6 p.m. on Monday, and we'll get you that information. So 348-4101. Or you can go sign up at scrantonpa.gov, and I think it's on the social media pages too. So we hope that we get lots of participation, and we've gotten, I think, over 70 people that have wanted to sign up for the Volunteer Corps to this point. So we're super excited about that, and we're excited to get going. So thank you all very much. Have a safe weekend. Mask up for yourselves and for your families, and for those that you might come in contact with that you don't even know. All right, thanks.